Okay, welcome to your multi-view lecture, tutorial, walkthrough, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to explain to you guys what multi-view is, how to dissect a 3D object and turn it into 2D, and then work on a couple examples, if you will, and then do a problem with you. This video will probably be in two parts, so if you want to fast forward to some parts, you're welcome to, but I'm going to walk you through the lecture, and we're going to do this. So I'm going to mount my phone, and we'll get going. Here we go. All right. Hopefully you can see this. So hopefully, if any luck I have, you got the sheet, which if you did, that's fantastic. So first off, what is a multi-view drawing? So I like using this as an example. This is just a basic part that was 3D printed for me one time after a competition. So it's a way to be able to take an object and to turn it into a 2D layout. That way it's much easier to see all the detail in it. Now, of course, most parts are going to be a lot more detailed than this, but this is a nice, easy example to get started on. So what is a multi-view projection? It is a way to take a 3D object and turn it into a 2D design with details. Okay? Okay, so the next thing is this glass box thing, okay? So luckily you're watching this in probably a 2D environment to where you're just looking at it, and to see the depth on something can be a little bit difficult. So imagine if you will, taking your face and smashing up against a window, so everything goes flat. Your nose is flat, your cheeks are flat, it's all up against there. This is kind of the same thing where we're taking the depth out of something and we're just showing all the detail of it. I know it's a weird example, but it's one I've been using and it's actually pretty accurate. So we're going to take this object here and I'm going to do a brief little sketch on how this would work in the 3D world. So if you want to do this with me, that might be great. So if I were to do a front view, and this is just a sketch, I'm gonna make it a little smaller, that way I can fit it on here. It would look something like this for my front view. So I'd have a circle here, and then I would have this remaining circle here with the hexagon within it. There you go. A little sloppy, but it works, okay? So this would in turn be my front view. So we don't see this depth yet. And there's also little aspects like this thing down here where we can't see just yet, but I'll show you how to see that here in a moment. So then I do a top view next. Now a top view is where you start to see some of the detail on the height of this thing, okay? So my sketch for this would look something like this. I'd have this little box down here. I would not see a circle because I only see those on one views typically. I say the word typically because sometimes things change. So one thing you may want to know about these is the most important thing when you're making these is that your outsides line up, okay? Don't have your top view over here because the whole point of this is to make your life easy. So if you look at this, I'm gonna use a different color marker here to show you guys. I want these things to try to line up, okay? So if I have a hidden line, so I have the circle here, but I can't see what's in this. I have no idea what's inside of this object on this view. So I need to show a little bit of a hidden line to show there's more here than meets the eye. Transformers reference. So I'm going to put hidden lines to show how there is something here that I cannot see with my eyes because, well, it's hidden, okay? You would also need a center line to show that this is a circle. Now I get this is not a circle, but the outside is. So I would need one right here. Okay. The next thing I would need is some form of a right view or left view, whichever one works. So that would look something like this. So I'd have a little squarish right here. I'd have another one down here like this. Then all the hidden lines will come into play, and I'm not going to worry about those. It's just more or less getting the grasp of how to lay these things out. So I'd have a whole bunch of hidden lines to show the detail. I would probably have a hidden line right here to show that there's this circle here underneath, all sorts of little stuff, okay? The next line on your sheets talks about, so the glass box right here is pretty much a way to flatten your surfaces and remove depth. Okay? All right, there are 3 views, which we just did. I'm gonna turn over. I want you to write this down. There's your front view, top view, and your right view. Now, there are times where you can have more than 3 views. There are times where you can have 1 view, but you always have some views. So your front shows your length and your height. Always. At least in our cases. These show length and width. This one here shows width and height. Now, when you do these, if you want to be smart about it, these things need to line up. Yes, this one didn't line up for me, but you know, I'm doing sketches, so it doesn't really matter. So when you're working on your sheet, you need to do top, front, and right, and I'm going to abbreviate just for the sake of saving time. So once again, your top is length and width. Your front is length and height. Your right is width and height. So we're going to break this down and we're going to do an example of one. And I want to see this when you actually get this done. So somehow you will take a picture of this front sheet at least and then just send it to me. Okay? So let's say we're doing our front view first. So the front view will be represented with the shaded area that I'm doing right now. Okay? So all my front view would pretty much look like is it would have, we're doing a sketch, doesn't have to be perfect, a box here, which would show this. Now you're like, Roy, there's this little slot right there, okay? Put 2 lines here to show that slot. I don't see the curve here. I see that on the top view. I'm gonna go up like so, round it off, and do that. And then I'm gonna put a little circle right there. This is the only view I see the circle in. The other views are all supposed to be on like a hidden line. So if I'm gonna be smart about it, I'm gonna line project up my outsides. I'm hoping you're pausing this as you go through it. Sorry about that. You can tell that I'm actually in school right now and I'm not doing this at home. Can't lie to you on that one. Okay, so lining up, make your life easy. So my top view will be this shaded area here, this round part, and this area right up here. So I'm gonna draw my line this way. Go up and over like so. This should line up with this. It roughly does. And then go over this way. Put a line here. This represents this back line right there. And then I just need a box right here. I don't see the curve. Why? I'm looking straight down on it. This becomes flush. So that glass theory of this going flat up against the glass works. Now I will need a hidden line here. This represents a circle. These should kind of line up. And then, of course, to show that this is a true circle, I need a center line here. I also want one here to show that this is a circle too. Same thing here. Okay? Finally, the right view. Once again, things should always line up. Can't express that any more than I'm doing right now. It would look something like this. It would look like an L. Little hidden line for the circle, little hidden line for the slot, because I'm looking this way at it. So I can't see that slot from here. So I'm looking at it from this side right here, or this side, doesn't really matter actually, because they're both the same. It's a symmetrical object, doesn't really matter. So I'll look at it from both sides, and I'll put the little center line here, a little center line here, and that should be it. Okay? Next page. Basic information. I'm not gonna go over this part too thoroughly, but I just wanna show you guys this. So, this pretty much just consists as if you're looking at any object, what's the best way to be able to find the front view? And typically, the only thing you want to know is the one with the most detail. It's not always length, width, and height. Sometimes it is. Depends on what you're doing. Okay, one view object. Okay? An eraser shield. Great example. Okay? Gasket, good example. Anything that is just one viewed and an extrusion or a thickness is all you need for a one view object. Okay, got that? Cool. Another one might be marker. This would be a two view object, or a cup, because all you would need is a top view and the side view, because it doesn't matter which way this thing rolls, it's gonna look the same no matter which way I put it. So 2D might be marker, coffee cup, even a pyramid. Doesn't really matter, okay? 3 view would be something more complex, like this thing right here, stapler. Mouse, not the kind that run around the floor, but the kind on your computer. Computer monitor, just about anything else is a mouse. Line type rules. If you're drawing something and you have a choice between whether drawing an object line or the hidden line, always choose the object line. So pretty much the object line overrules a hidden line. Same thing with also center lines too. So they are the most important ones. This part you should know. The only thing I care about the hidden lines is that you put your gaps with an 1/8 inch and a 16th inch gap. Okay? I will look for that in your drawings. Okay, that's your lecture part. Let's do a quick worksheet here. I'm not gonna worry about this. This part is the one I want to look at. So what I'm showing you guys is I'm showing you that you're gonna look at a 3D object and you're gonna turn it into a 2D view. Okay? So let me kind of adjust my camera just for a second here so maybe I can see this a little bit better, a little closer. So I'm looking at it from this view. Now while looking at this view, I'm not looking at this way where I can see the angle. I'm looking at it straight on to where I just see a box. All I see is a square like this and a box like this. So your job is to go down here and look and see which one these are. Okay, so I'm gonna do the top 2 rows with you. The rest, I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna look for that to have you do on your own, and then I wanna see it. Okay, some of these are used twice. So just because you do one doesn't mean you can mark it off and you're not gonna see it again, because you might. Some are not used at all, okay? So this one right here, I'm looking for a box or a little, like backwards, or like an L thing with a little square. So that would be number 3 right here. So put that right there. If I'm looking at this one, I see this square here, this square here, this square here, and this square here. I don't see the angle unless I'm looking at it from this way. I'm looking at it from the front, so it all goes smashed. So I look for 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it, 13. Lucky number 13. This one again. I just see boxes like this. I see nothing else. Okay? That would be number 23. Next one is this one here. So there is a line here. It's hard to see, but there is a line there. It's not really hard to see, you just have to notice it. So a lot of students think that this one is number 11, but it's not, because it's missing that middle line. It's number 1. This one's used twice. You can figure out which one it is. This one here, got a rectangle here. There's one in here. I know it's hard to see, but there's a gap there. You have to visualize it. And then 2 boxes. So I'm looking for 3 rows and 2 separate boxes like this one here. So this one's 10. This one here, box here, once again, boop, boop. If that goes up, hey look, this looks like this one. It is, 23. This one here, I see the angle this time. I see an angle here and in 2 boxes, 22. I'll do one more, the rest is on your own. And then I'm gonna stop this video, and then the next video will be about the drawing, just so we have enough time. So this one here is probably one of the more complicated ones. Box, box. But then I got this angle here with the triangle right in the back. So this one is, pause your video maybe, find it for yourself, pause for effect, 20. The reason why, 2 boxes, an angle, and another triangle, because these are gonna pretty much reflect each other. So go ahead and work on these. I'm gonna see what you get. I'm not gonna give you the answers. Got to figure it out for yourself. So work through this. This is your lecture part. Next, we're going to do a drawing. I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please email or text me and let me know. Thank you.